shining the spotlight on the communities we love. It's time for the KMCH Hometown Tour.
We are here enjoying Worthington. This week, we will be marking the 33rd anniversary of one of the most impactful events to happen on this small town. Talking, of course, about the devastating tornado that rolled through on March 13th of 1990. But it is a testament of what small towns are about here in Iowa and about the love of this community for one another as we tell the story of the storm. I'm going to start with you, Kay, because your husband was mayor at the time. Walk us through that day.
It was about 5:15 in the afternoon, and I was at home, and my friend Sue Berger worked in the bank. Someone said there was a tornado coming, so she had to unplug all the computers and things at the bank. And had her little girl at my house, and she came up and she says, "Kay, there's a tornado coming." So we all headed down to the basement, but she had to go back down to the bank because she forgot to do something. So she came back, and by the time she came back, this roaring train was coming. So we all headed back down to the basement again and stayed down there until we thought it was over. Then we came up and we walked around outside, and they hollered, "Get back in the house because there's another one coming." So we all went back in the house. By that time, the lights were all off and it was getting dark. After that, it was just people running all around town, trying to help each other, trying to find this or that or whatever they could possibly do.
Jane, when you guys heard kind of the initial things, did you do like the rest of us Iowans do, just kind of brush it off? Okay, well, here we go again. Time to close the windows. Or was there something in your gut saying that this might be worse?
Oh, no. In my gut, I knew it was going to be worse. It was probably 80, 85 degrees that day. And I said, if it starts to hail, then we have to worry. And then all of a sudden it started to hail, and then it got as quiet as a mouse, and the lights went out. So I took the kids downstairs, and so the kids went underneath the bar, and I laid on top of them. So I said if anything fell, it would hit me first.
Now, Mike, you were on the fire department. Were you doing the weather spotting as well?
Yeah, I guess looking back, weather spotting probably wasn't taken as serious as post-tornado. We went out that particular day. We didn't have any advance notice other than the weather was abnormally warm that day. I headed down to the station, and there was several others kind of the same way, and we went out to spot. We knew it was coming from the southwest, or that's where they said it was. We were out there maybe 5 minutes, and it got abnormally calm. I said it's like 6 feet underground calm. All the stories you hear about a tornado, it was kind of coming true. And then the wind picked up, but it felt different. It was almost like it was getting sucked away from you. And we knew that power had went out in town, which took our warning siren out at the time. We whipped around and were heading back into town. And as we were coming into town, the tornado was just to the southwest of the cemetery, and it hit a house on top of the hill. A large section of the roof blew down and smacked into the side of the van that was ahead of me. And then as we were going around the corner, it seemed like we were going to meet on the road, us and the tornado at the same time, so I gave it the right away, slammed on the brakes. So we were probably about 50 yards away from where it crossed the road. You'd see it come up to a house, and it would just touch it, and the house would just explode.
We had more than the amount of people that we needed to help clear out the house. We got semi-trailers at the house, and that's what was really important when you seen all the people that came around to help. And the kids, the people that were taking down the trees in the yard, they'd cut off little pieces of the tree that had like a bottle cap stuck in it and give it to the kids as a remembrance, that this is what a storm can really do. But yeah, without all the people's help in town and friends of ours from out of town that also came and helped, we would have never ever been able to do the cleanup by ourselves. And then of course we had a lot of help with the National Guard as well.
Those storms, I recall, prompt the idea of the statewide, the countywide signaling system. 1990, you wouldn't have had a Dubuque County alert
Like I
system.
said, at that day, the way I found out about it was turning the TV on.
So technology has been to your advantage now.
Yes, it wasn't too many years after that, and the statewide notification got a lot better. We received pagers, which we never had before. We counted on the siren to the people would call with a fire, go to a phone bank, and several people it would ring in several houses, and then they would come down and ring the siren. That's how we got notified back then.
You know, the intensity of the storms haven't lessened, but our reaction time and how we get the information certainly has a result of that.
Didn't we get new sirens too after
Yes,
that?
yeah.
So they're spread out
Kind of the
throughout
first thing we have two now that are battery backup that will work.
And very loud.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Very loud.